Gordon Cornwell Consultants Limited presents personal branding for chartered accountants. Take a listen at guest speaker Tund Lawinson, Head Corporate Communications, First Holdco PLC, as he gives us a powerful preview as to why this matters.
Once again, good morning. My name is Tund Lawinson. The brief that I have this morning essentially is just to run us through the content of the training that will take place later next month. Essentially to give us the sense of what to expect and the areas around where we will be engaging ourselves. And the theme for the program is personal branding for chartered accountants. Essentially, when you talk about personal branding, you're looking also at building trust, credibility, and then also ensuring professional influence is achieved. I want to see if my slide will move. Okay, yeah. So that's what I opened with. These are the speakers that will be anchoring the event next month, and this is what the event is all about. So if I'm to speak around what the personal branding conversations will be around, we'll start with the introduction. We need to understand what why we're here or why we're there on that day, and then essentially to give us more summary or a context-setting proposal on what personal branding is all about. Then we speak about what exactly is branding. I know it's a word that's been bandied all over the world and everywhere. Branding or brand, what is it? So we need to set that in motion for every one of us to understand what branding exactly is. And then we go to the meat of the matter, what is personal branding and what personal branding is not about. So that by being able to distinguish between what branding is and what personal branding is, it helps to make us have a clear understanding. And that puts us in the right frame of mind to know how to proceed further. And then as part of the outlining, we also realized that it was important that we also distinguish between personal branding and corporate branding. It's just what you see everywhere. There are some organizations, and when you come to the issue of talking about corporate branding, we have products and we have service brands. So it's also very important that those critical explanation is provided for us to understand clearly. And then we go more into personal branding, citing examples, providing context so that and experiential. And from there, we also try to bring to the fore the critical theme of the training program, talking about why personal branding is very important or critical for chartered accountants. Because from the profession, it's also very important that everybody is able to understand how to build their personal brand, what personal branding is all about, so that it helps us to put us in the right perspective, right frame of mind, and then going forward, we know what to do, how to do it, how to build it, because the totality of the personal branding is all about you. So it's important that we know how to ensure that chemistry, that process is in alignment with our own vision, with our own aspirations, and with our own focus. Again, why did we speak about, when I was talking about corporate branding, it was also important that some of us are self-business owners and some are also employed. So we need to also ensure that there is a way where we align the corporate or the organizational brand with our own personal brand, so that there'll be no dichotomy or differentiation, so that when we engage customers, clients, and people, they are not extricating our personal brand from our institutional brand or corporate brand, which is why there must be that alignment, so that in the long run, in terms of business engagement and what have you, you are able to achieve that objective, so that people are not seeing, one is not if I'm allowed to use this word, one is not viewed in a bipolar sense, that you are different from your personal brand, from your organizational brand. So there must be that alignment, so that there will be that sense of uniformity and consistency when you are engaging people, either for business-related issues or otherwise. And then I'll also speak around how personal brand impacts organizational branding, because some people are even larger than life. If you read the bottom of this slide, it speaks to some of the individuals who their personal brand is larger than life, more than their own personal organizations. Think about Warren Buffett. Many people sometimes do not even remember that he owns Berkshire Hathaway, which is the vehicle he has used to build his stock worth over the years. And then you speak about even my group chairman, Femi Otedola. I mean, and most of us realize that he's been in the news for the past 2 months. I mean, buying shares, and even for some of the challenges that the organization has had in recent times, by virtue of his positive personal brand, that has also, I mean, he's also been impacted on the organization. And you see people saying, despite the organization having problems, because we know who this person is, we know it's going to impact on the positive nature of the organization. So we as accountants, we also must realize that our profession speaks about trust, speaks about credibility, speaks about professional influence, and we need to build personal brands to help us achieve relevance, because some of us also wants to apart from our profession, we also want to spread our tentacles beyond our profession and also garner as much support, garner as much interest, garner as much attention from everyone, especially when it comes to looking for business opportunities. Are we in the tax space? Are we in the audit space? Are we in the compliance space? These are environmental spaces that we need to show relevance, and our personal branding, I mean, adds to our professional credibility, goes a long way in helping us to achieve recall, achieve attention, and even business engagement and wherever, and then influencing our environment. We also speak to, in the course of the program, we also speak to actionable steps. It's like giving us step by steps of what we need to do in order to achieve that personal branding. It is, I mean, it used to be old school accountant or old school period where we are always silent when it comes to personal branding, and we allow either people to speak for us on our behalf or our organization to ride the crest. But as at this moment, at this point in time, one will be lost in the gutter of forgetfulness if we do not intentionally develop our personal brand. And that's why we give us actionable steps that will help us to build our personal brand. And in our conclusion, we'll try to revalidate what we have discussed as part of our takeaways, and then also list a lot of all these international and local figures to drive home the relevance of our personal branding in our lives and our career journey. I mean, for some of us, I mean, till death, we'll still be doing that business. And then, in summary or in finality, I want to talk about the big ideas. What does it mean when you want to consider personal brand? I mean, take for instance, Ralph Lauren, I mean, and Louis Vuitton. They had different names when they were about to start their businesses, but they had to change the names because they felt they needed to create an affinity where there'll be a sense of recall, and there'll be something that people will endear people to them. So the first thing we need to do is to ensure that we try to create the right perception as we build our personal brand. Everything about personal brand is all about you. Everything about personal, so it's all about you. So you have to be intentional, and you have to demonstrate how you go about ensuring that you build this intentionality around your personal brand. Is it in the way you appear? And I will tell you, in the course of it, it's not only about logo, it's not only about color, it's about a lot of other things. And these are some of the things we're going to talk about. So what next after this synopsis of the content of our next of our training? It is for you to now, I mean, register and be part of it. I mean, I've just given us a tip of some of the things to expect. There'll be a lot more detailed conversation we're going to have. It will also be experiential for us to understand what personal brand is all about. Personal brand builds. Personal brand is beneficial. Personal brand is also, it brings money, it brings respect, it brings influence, it brings relevance, not only within your space, but beyond. And I have a couple of colleagues, or some of your colleagues in that space, who have been able to use their personal brand to really, really endear the public. One of them, I mean, I'll say for free, is my colleague in the office. His name is Bode Ogutoke, Dr. Bode Ogutoke, in the accounting space. I mean, within the little I know, he's been extremely relevant. He's been very active within the space, and he's garnering more attention. Thank you very much.